Hey everybody, Sean here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today in Kansei, and we are going to cover the first and main playthrough during this part. So, what you want to do before starting any visual novel is, of course, go into the preferences and then see if you can tweak anything to make things faster. Of course, what you want to do for this one is going to be to go to skip. Make sure you check all of these boxes, unseen text, after choices, and transitions. Then crank up both text speed and auto forward time all the way to the right, and then just back out to save your settings. Then what you want to do is want to make sure you start up the game, and then we are going to get to fast forwarding. Right bumper to fast forward, the choices are going to be in the margins, so make sure you pick them appropriately and in the proper order. There are going to be a handful of saves we are going to be making throughout our playthrough to make the subsequent playthroughs a lot shorter, so make sure you keep those in mind when they do pop up. Alright, we should have our first alternate path right here. What you want to do is you want to make sure you hit the start button to make a save, go over to save, and then make sure you save in slot number 1. Then what you want to do is you want to make sure you make the choice that's going to get you your next achievement. So this one's going to be choice number 2. So make sure you make that choice and then let the game play out until the achievement pops. Once you unlock the achievement, feel free to hit the start button again, and this time go to load. Make sure you load that same save you just made, and then you should be able to continue down an alternate path, which should lead to not only another achievement, but the rest of the playthrough. So that's going to be the most simplified example of how the save system is going to be used. Keep in mind there are going to be saves that we are going to make and then hold off on until later playthroughs. So make sure you just save in the right places, and you should be able to save yourself a bunch of time later on. All right, it's going to be right here where the game is going to turn from a pure visual novel into a hybrid visual novel and point and click. So for these situations, what you want to do is you want to make sure you turn off the fast forward whenever you are in point and click mode. So just hit right bumper to cancel out of fast forward. And then you are going to basically be able to do 3 commands. You can either talk, examine, or move. Talk will talk to whatever character is in the room. Move is going to allow you to move to a different screen, and then examine is going to allow you to switch to the cursor and then look around for some clues. Whenever you use the talk command, feel free to turn the fast forward back on in the middle of the conversation in order to skip to wherever you need to make choices. And I will also have the commands listed in addition to the choices in the margins, so they should be pretty straightforward to follow along in addition to the traditional visual novel gameplay. So your first time in the hallway might be a little confusing because all of the doors are going to have question marks on them. So every time we need to enter a new room, I will point out which door leads to which room to make things a little easier. So for this first trip, you are going to want to go to the staircase, which is going to be the topmost arrow. This is going to take you to this stairwell, and then you can go downstairs to head into the cellar. It's going to be in the cellar where you are going to get your first investigation bit. So which one of these you want to go to examine, and you want to make sure you click on this topmost box right here. When you need to get to the living room, it's going to be the furthest door from you on the right side. So it's going to be the second door to the right. To get to the security room, you want to make sure you go to the first door on the left, so it's going to be the door that's going to be closest to you. When you need to head into the museum, it's going to be the door that's going to be furthest from you on the left. So the third door on the left. And then to get to the kitchen, what you want to do is you want to make sure you go to the second door on the left. So the door that's going to be in the middle left. It's going to be at this point in the story where we are going to have to go to the crime scene and we are forced into an investigation. What you want to do is you want to make sure you click on the bottle right here in the middle of the screen. And then once you have clicked that, just hit done to finish up the investigation. Once you wrap up that conversation, you're going to be forced into another investigation in the security room. What you want to do is you want to make sure you click on the desktop PC on the bottom right here. So it's going to be the computer underneath the desk on the left side.
Hey, Kansei, right?
All right, once it's time to figure out who the killer is, make sure you make a save here. Very important, as this will save you a ton of time in a later playthrough. So that should be slot 4 that we need to save it in. Make your choice, and then just make sure you choose your justification after that, and then that should be the end of the game. We should be kicked to the end credits, which should speed by super fast. But more importantly, we should be good for our first playthrough achievement. There it is, 90 gamer score. Don't forget to check back soon at next time, where we are going to cover our second playthrough. But that's all there is to it.